Hello, everyone. Welcome to Judah Reigns. If you like what you hear today, please subscribe. Consider subscribing and like and share this information. Now, I want to say something to the descendants of American slaves, those that call themselves FBA, others call themselves ADOS, some even call themselves just simply Black or African American. They are the children of those who were brought here in slavery and those who were already here, and they had dominion over North and South America, but they went through a horrible satanic demonic war, and of course the Most High had informed them that they would lose that war and would be carried into slavery. But the Most High also said that there would come a day when he would bring them back to this place, to the sovereignty of North and South, what is called North and South America, from the top to the bottom, that they would be given, or the children of those who had went through that horrific fall of the transatlantic slave trade and the wars of those of our mothers and our fathers who were here. And it was not only just a human war, but it was a spiritual war as well. And they were told that they would lose that war. Now, there are other reasons I don't want to get into that, but I want to speak to those children and those that will be the first fruits that will comprise of true New Jerusalem right here in what is now called the United States of America. You are literally a walking, living embodiment of a miracle. The very fact that we are all breathing still, that we are all still being able to animate around in this wicked world through all these hundreds of years, with everything that has happened to us, that which has happened to us has never happened to anybody of any human race. There were no greater atrocities committed upon the human race greater than ours. You and I, we are a walking embodiment of a miracle. And we are in and of ourselves proof that there must be a Most High God, a creator of the universe, that which supersedes the powers of man and including all spiritual beings, whether they be angel and heavenly or satanic and demonic and lowly and in the pit of hell. Why am I saying this right now? Because there are a couple of things that came up for me today regarding how sometimes people who look like us and who also may have our ancestry, may also be descendants themselves, how they keep telling us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And I heard on a podcaster today, and I think this gentleman was meaning well, but he kept saying, you got to level up. You got to level up. And I can see that he was trying to encourage Black men and Black women. But oftentimes we can do more harm spiritually than good. And it's because when people do that, because that's basically bootstrapism. That's basically because that particular person was allowed to be successful. And I would even in this day and time right now would even say that the Most High may have also elevated this particular man, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. That sometimes we can take that and become a little bit of a sting of arrogance gets into us. And so because we were allowed to be successful, and it wasn't because of anything that we did, it was that the door or whatever time that we're playing or whatever part of the time that we're playing, the door had opened for us that we can become arrogant in that thinking. No descendant of American slave can pull themselves up by anything because they are bootless. And for whatever we have, We totally receive that against the odds. And in some of us, if we have spiritual enlightenment, which is the true riches and the true wealth, even though materially and economically in this wicked world, we may not be wealthy or what people consider wealthy, we are by far the most blessed people on the planet. And I'm not talking about just descendants of American slaves wholesale. The very fact that we are here, that is a blessing in ourselves. But there are several ones who have been given a spiritual anointing. And that means that they have been given a commission of what they will be doing in New Jerusalem in order to bring us first, the first fruits of the Most High's gift of returning perfection and paradise to this planet, that the children of the slaves will be given those gifts first. And it's not something that we have to work for it. The Most High said, no, I promise you this. He didn't say, I didn't promise you this, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, you got to do this. No, what the Most High told us was that you were going to go through HE double hockey sticks. But because of who I am as the creator of the universe, as the Most High God, through bringing you back, I am going to show myself to be the Most High. I'm going to prove to this planet and the people in it that no, I absolutely am real and I do exist. And it's not because we are so fabulous on our own merit. It's because of who we are and who the Most High has made us to be and what we've been through. So I think a little bit of grace for our brothers and sisters that are out there. You can only do what you can do, and make it no surprise if you don't do the same things that all these other people are doing and you're not successful, because that has been the scheme. That there are so many blocks put in place. It's a miracle when someone actually does succeed. And when what we find out, what we're finding out now is that some of our brothers and sisters have literally sold their souls to the devil, sold their souls to Satan in order to get what little bit that they have been given. And some of them have participated in things that will probably make your stomach churn. Okay? And so we must keep this in mind. Now, if the Most High has decided to bless you with material wealth and even intellectual and spiritual wealth, that's fantastic. Okay, but we have to stipulate where it came from and not get this garment on of that we have done it, and so you need to be doing it too. You need to be leveling up. You need to be doing this and that. Nobody can't do anything because the roadblocks are like concrete right now. It's solidified in this system, and this wicked system is on its way out. What is there to get out of this? Nothing. There is nothing to get out of this world. That is the message. There is nothing else to get if you obtain any type of success. In this world, there's a certain level where everybody's got to look at you sideways, because what was the price you had to pay to Satan and his children in order to get to that point? But if you have been blessed not only spiritually and materially, then that's wonderful. But you need to be able to say that. And you've got to clarify that with the masses of people so that you're not putting on that layer of delusion for descendants of American slaves. We really got to, oh my goodness, I long for the day when Christ's kingdom is reigning, because all of the bull crap about bootstrapism, all of that of I did this on my own, all of that is going to go by the wayside. And there are some brothers and sisters out there that are saying that. They are saying that the only reason why I have this, the only reason why I have this, what little material wealth we have, is due to the Most High. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. Wouldn't be because I'm so smart or so brilliant, or because of, I do X, Y, and Z. No, we all are fallen. We all are imperfect. And these people don't care how brilliant you are. They don't care at all. There have been a lot of brilliant people that have languished on the streets of America that never got their just due. And some, yes, they were able to contribute to society. They were able to invent something, and then they got it snatched away from them. And another name and another person who was basically Caucasian took over and got the accolades from that. And with a big smile on their face, they emulated what the original black person did. They actually stood in the way, you see. And any time that any one of us has been raised up to a certain point, then when they got ready to, they would snatch you down. And then you also have to look at what was, again, the mechanism for you to get to that point. What were you willing to do that maybe the masses of black people, the children of the slaves, were not willing to do? And again, there are those who are on the streets right now who have brilliant ideas that could have solved man's problems, and they couldn't even get the blueprint of what the Most High has given them and revealed to them. Or they do have the blueprints and it's just sitting somewhere in a box somewhere. But I will tell you this, that all of that intellectual property, all of that emotional mountains that contain precious minerals for our uplift, all of that is going to be brought to bear in New Jerusalem. We can't get anything now. And I can't, sometimes I marvel that some of us are out here still doing the gospel of monetary gain. And sometimes and then some I've heard some that will acknowledge that we are the people of the book, and but still say something about, you need to get this and you need to do this and you need to do that. What can we do? We can't do anything. I mean, we had Malcolm X, we have Martin Luther King, we have even Minister Louis Farrakhan, brilliant men, let alone Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ashada Shakur, bless that woman, who got ran out of this country and had to go hide in Cuba. So if they were unsuccessful unsuccessful, what I mean by unsuccessful is that they did not change the dynamic of America. They made inroads to keep us alive as a people. They did do that. They made sacrifices that have kept us going and literally breathing as a people. So that's not small fries at all. But as far as upending white supremacy, they could not do it on their own. And these people actually acknowledged that the Most High God, creator of the universe, was operating in their lives. And so we cannot leave that piece out. Otherwise, I think it does more damage than good. And of course, I believe that some of these commentators do mean well, because, what I sense is that they're so happy that they're being successful. And because of their happiness, they want everybody else to be happy. So in their minds, you can hear a little bit that they're kind of attributing to what they did versus what the Most High may have allowed them to achieve. And there is a technical difference. And I'm not washing away or slamming down the efforts that they have made, but millions of descendants of American slaves have made the same efforts. And some have made even greater efforts, but it has come to naught. And so we always want to make sure of this, because a person can drive themselves mad. And I think a lot of us, especially those that are out on the streets, have because they have gone they've gone loony, because of the whole thing of, there are homeless black folks out on the street that have PhDs, and they're homeless. And you best believe that they have had a piece of jewel, something to contribute to the world, and someone has either slammed the door in their face so that they couldn't develop that dream, or that thing that could have really changed the way that this country operated, or they did take it and then shut that person out of it and then, ran with the goods and shared none of the profits with the person. So, we got to understand what time we live in. And I think personally, myself, I think every descendant of American slave is brilliant and will have something valuable to offer. And that is why it says that holy city will shine like the sun. Because if you can imagine millions, hundreds of millions of us eventually occupying not only New Jerusalem, but will probably, in the greater sense, will be giving back the lease or the, what do you call it again? The deed to North and South America. I really believe that that would be the greater part of Israel. But right now, we're just starting out with New Jerusalem. And it won't be out of selfishness, and it won't be that we're making war with people or having people do some of the sickest things known to man. We won't be hunting people in the night. We're not that kind of people. And those who practice that, and those who subscribe to that, and those who have benefited under that are going to hate what the Most High will put in place. They're going to prefer death, and it says in a great book, and I may elaborate this on another audio, that people will be wishing for death, or excuse me, wishing for unaliving. They'll be wishing for it, for the simple fact to see the descendants of slaves, what is about to happen to us, what is unfolding for us. And so, there will also come a point in time where we won't be saying do this and do that to each other, because we will have it in our heart, we'll have it in our mind, we will know what to do. But New Jerusalem is just going to get us straight, and it's going to heal us from the scars and the sores that we carry in our DNA from what has happened to us since the 1400s. Probably even a little earlier than that, because we don't get the full story. We don't have a full story of what's happened. And I submit to you that the story that we've been told is one big fat lie. So just be mindful of that. If you are successful, fantastic, wonderful, that is great. But do know that the masses of Black folk are not that way, and it's not due to anything that they were doing or not doing. It doesn't mean that they have to level up or level down. There's a whole lot of people that leveled up, and they were doing deplorable, horrible things in order to, quote unquote, level up. That's what we're in the middle of right now, finding out what it takes to do that. I've had another anointed person said that most people that are successful usually have to commit a crime of some sort. And so when I'm looking at people like that, I'm like, oh, what did you have to do on the back end that you're not telling the world? So anyway, all secrets will be revealed, and a greater success for us is unfolding as we speak. But the trueness of that will come to pass when we are in New Jerusalem. Thank you for listening.